You were there. You existed. You felt things. You cried when you were hungry. You smiled when you saw a face you recognized. You reached for things that caught your eye. And you remember absolutely none of it. Not 1 second. Most people assume the explanation is obvious. You were too young. Your brain was too small. Babies just don't remember things. But that's not the answer. And the real reason is far stranger than anyone expects. Because your baby brain wasn't failing to record your life. It was recording everything. The memories were there. Something erased them. In the 1980s, a psychologist named Carolyn Rovey Collier ran a simple experiment at Rutgers University. She tied a ribbon from a baby's ankle to a mobile hanging above the crib. The babies figured it out fast. Kick the leg, the mobile moves. They loved it. When she brought them back days later, they remembered immediately, no hesitation. The legs started kicking before they even settled in. 2-month-olds held that memory for days. 6-month-olds held it for weeks. So infant brains can learn. They can store information. They can retrieve it. In 2014, 2 neuroscientists in Toronto asked a question that sounded almost too strange to test. What if the very process that builds your brain is also what destroys your memories? Sheena Jocelyn and Paul Franklin at the Hospital for Sick Children had noticed something unusual. In the first years of life, the hippocampus produces new neurons at an extraordinary rate. This is called neurogenesis. It's essential. Those neurons wire the circuits you'll use for the rest of your life. But there's one more layer, and it might be the strangest part of all. To form what scientists call autobiographical memory, the kind where you are the main character, replaying an experience that belongs to you, you need something that seems obvious, but isn't. You need a sense of self. You need to understand that you exist, that you are a person, that things are happening to you, not just around you. Before roughly 18 to 24 months, infants don't have this. There's a simple test for it. Place a small mark on a baby's face. Put them in front of a mirror. Before 18 months, babies treat the reflection like a stranger. They don't reach for the mark on their own face. They don't recognize that the face looking back belongs to them. After 18 months, they do. And that moment, that first flicker of self-recognition, closely tracks with the earliest age at which lasting personal memories can form. Which means you couldn't remember being a baby partly because there was no you yet. Not in the way you experience yourself now. There was no narrator inside your head organizing events into a story. No one to file an experience under mine. No concept that what was happening to a person called you. There's one final piece. Language. Before you could speak, your experiences were encoded as raw sensation. Sounds, light, warmth, hunger, emotion without words. But sensation without language has no skeleton, nothing to hold its shape. It exists in the moment, fully, completely, and then dissolves. Once children begin speaking, and especially once they begin talking with adults about things that already happened, their ability to form lasting memories improves sharply. Language doesn't just describe memory, it builds it. And here's what makes that concrete. Research found that the age of your earliest memory varies depending on the culture you grew up in. In cultures where parents regularly narrate their children's experiences, asking questions, building stories, rehearsing the past, first memories tend to reach back to around age 3.5. Among the Maori of New Zealand, where oral tradition places deep emphasis on personal history, average first memories reach back to age 2.5. In some East Asian cultures, where early childhood narratives center less on the individual child, first memories often start closer to age 4. The culture you were raised in literally determines how far back into your own life you can see.
So here's what actually happened to those first years. Your hippocampus wasn't ready to anchor long-term memories. And even when it started to, a flood of new neurons tore through the circuits holding them. You had no concept of self to attach experiences to. And you had no language to give those experiences a shape that could last. It wasn't one thing. It was everything, simultaneously. Every person alive has gone through this. Every human who has ever existed. A stretch of years, fully lived, completely gone. Not because your brain was too primitive, but because it was